Okay. In the last session, we completed up to item master organization creation task, right? Now we'll proceed with the actual inventory creation. Sorry, 1 second. So now we can navigate to the project. Go to project. So from the project, you can search for inventory organization task. Okay, here we have a task called as manage inventory organization. Just click on this task and click on go to task icon. And say create. Now we are going to create the actual inventory, nothing but physical inventory. If you look at this definition, so system is taking the usage type as a inventory management. At the time of item master organization, system selected as a item management, but it is going to be inventory management. Reason this is inventory organization, not item master. Fine. So here we can give the name as Cloud INC US inventory. Here organization nothing but organization code Cloud US. You can give the code as CUS Cloud US, and as a mandatory we have to select the business unit here. We have to map this inventory with specific BU. Select our business unit and select inventory location. Okay, so for this business unit, what are the location we have that system is defaulting. If this inventory is different from this BU location, you can override it. So based on this BU, system is defaulting the primary ledger. You can select the specific LE for this process, this BU. Fine. Then click on next. This is a physical inventory, so we have to provide the relevant attributes. So schedule, we created the schedule, right? The facility schedule we created, that we have to select here. So select a name which we given as a cloud. What name we given? I think I remember we given as a cloud only. Not sure, is that there may be some change happened, somebody might have changed or something else. Okay, doesn't matter, like see whatever we create there, that will come here, we have to select here. Now it is not coming. Just you can select your inventory organization, item master inventory. Our item master organization name is Cloud INC item master. Select it. The starting revision and all, we are not going to work on that inventory revision part and all, you can ignore it. Go to the next tab. Here just verify any mandatory information. No. Item sourcing details, no mandatory information. Then say save and close. Done. So we created actual inventory also. Now we have to set up procurement business function. This is equal to EBS purchasing options. In EBS we set purchasing options for purchasing application. So the same here we are calling as procurement business function setup. So in case of EBS, as a part of purchasing options, whatever the setups we said, that will be supported for procurement as well as purchasing process. Right here we have a separate options to control the just procurement process, PO process. We have the procurement options business function, and for requisition process we have a separate function called as requisitioning business function. We have to set separately. We'll go one by one. So you could see task with the same name, configure procurement business function. Search for the tasks within our project. Okay, click on the task. Say go to task icon. Just click on that. So select our procurement business unit. So our BU name is Cloud INC US Business Unit. Then say OK. So you can set the default payment terms if you are going to work on procurement process, PO creation, and all. Which BUs, which prime payment term system has to default. And here you have to select the inventory organization as a mandatory parameter. So select our inventory organization. See here system is asking code, name and code. Code is nothing but organization field value. Search. Okay, here you can map your actual inventory with this. And if you want to set default line type, so you can set it up, say goods. And for this business unit, you'll be recording the documents in which currency. These all you can specify as a defaults or controls. Okay. So maximum file size is a purchasing file size when system generates. You can give maximum file megabytes. You can just fill with some information, and the matching approval level, which should be defaulted to a 3-way, 4-way. You can specify by default 3-way we have. Other details, we don't see anything as a mandatory. Say save and close. Now just navigate to requisitioning business function. Okay. Select our business unit, Cloud INC US business unit. If we don't enable requisitioning business function to our BU name won't come in this LOV. After creating the business unit, we enabled business unit as a procurement business unit, requisitioning business unit, receiving business unit, all the business functions we enable. If you don't enable requisitioning business function for BU, when you try to do this setup in the LOV, you don't find the BU. So that's how system will behave. Fine. So whatever the information you given in the procurement business function, the same system is defaulting here. If you notice, the organization we given within the procurement business function, the same is defaulting to requisition business function and the goods line type. Okay. So these attribute system is defaulting from over there. Okay. The same you can accept and you can proceed. And depending on like what are the options, how they are going to provide the solution, what are the controls and the other defaults required, a CMR procurement consultant will look after, but we are trying to understand the basic configuration. So this is how we have to complete. We're just done with these two tasks. Now the next task is common options for payables and procurement. Already as a part of payables configuration, we completed that task. Here we have the same task. Let's just go and review how we've given the information. Select our business unit. Cloud INC US business unit. So these are the details we given as a part of payable setups. The same we could see here. Now we don't need to do anything, but we have to consider if we are going to set up procurement purchasing related configuration. So since it's a common task, we have to complete this. It's already done as a part of tables. Now we'll go and set receiving parameters. This is equal to receiving options in EBS. Okay, in EBS we set receiving options. The same receiving options here we could see as a receiving parameters. Search and click on receiving parameters task. Okay, go to task. So select inventory organization, for which inventory we want to set receiving options. Organization means organization code. So CUS receiving parameters we have to set for physical only, for item master not required, because we never receive the item into item master, right? So select our physical inventory and specify the mandatory fields. Say receipt days exceed action. I'm just setting to none, and tolerance receipt action also none. Receipt routing method says standard receipt, and receipt number generation. So manual or automatic, say automatic. The type is number, and what should be the next number? I'll say 1. The system will take first receipt number as a 1. And RMA in case of return, material authorization process, sales returns, whatever the material received into our organization from our customers. So how you want to deal with the routing process. Here also I'm selecting standard receipt. So then these are the specifications you can give here, then say save and close. And if you notice in these setups, so receiving parameters, nothing but receiving options. In case of EBS, when you set receiving options, we provide few accounts. When you set up purchasing options also, we provide accounts. But here, as a part of Fusion, we are not setting up any accounts. So accounts part, we have to deal separately in the Fusion. So in the receiving options, purchasing options, we normally provide accounts in case of EBS, but Fusion we don't see any accounting section within those options. The accounting need to be managed separately. That we'll discuss. Fine, done. A procurement agent, we'll go and verify the current user is procurement agent for our business unit or not. Yes, our current user is procurement agent for our BU. We'll go and check it. Okay, search for procurement agent task. Okay, we can see the record here. For Cloud INC US business unit, the Cloud INC is acting as an agent, procurement agent. You may click on edit to go through the access privileges, whatever the privileges granted to this user. So all the privileges we have, all type of documents this agent can create. Okay, the access to other agent documents and all these points we discussed at the time of procurement agent definition. The same is applicable. Done. Now we have a concept called as tab. Tab stands for transaction accounting builder. Okay, when you perform the transaction, the accounting, to generate the accounting, we have to set up the builder. To generate the accounting for the transactions, we have to define the tab. So this tab is required basically in PO only. Okay, for other applications we have a different concept. Okay, we'll discuss that. So we have to set up PO tab. That means within the purchasing application, when you create the requisition or purchase order, what are the account system will derive. Okay, so these are the primarily these five accounts which system will look for when you create the requisition or PO: accrual account, charge account, destination charge, destination variance. In case of it's a kind of centralized procurement process, only these two accounts are required. Otherwise, normally these three accounts: accrual account, charge account, variance account, these three accounts system has to identify. So those we cannot set up as a part of purchasing options or receiving options. Only the option is Infusion PO tab. We have to define the PO tab. Tab stands for Transaction Accounting Builder. Okay, so which is required for PO purchasing application. So what it will do, whenever you create requisition or PO, it will pick the required accounts based on the transaction. So we have to go and set up PO tab. And when we are going to deal with a receipt accounting, we have a separate accounting setup called as a receipt accounting. And when you want to generate the accounting entries related to costing, inventory costing, or when you're dealing with the O2C cycle, the deferred costs and all these accounts which will come into the picture, for that we have a cost accounting. These are separate configuration we have to perform. Okay, so the receiving account, receipt accounting, cost accounting. When you create the receipt for inventory, when you receive the material, system has to trigger the accounting. So which account system has to take, from where it has to take, by following which condition it has to take, is all you can set up by using the receipt accounting concept in Fusion. In case of EBS, we'll specify all these accounts as a part of our setups. When you create inventory, we'll go to others option. There we'll have a receiving options. Okay, there we can provide the accounts, and there itself you can provide the sales related account and all other accounts as a part of the definition only under GL accounts. But in Fusion, so the accounting part they segregated, where we have to create the separate definitions as a receipt accounting to create the accounting entries for receipts, cost accounting, inventory related, cost related transactions, as well as O2C process related accounting entries which are connected with the inventory related costing. So these are the three different accounting definitions we have to do when we are working on this P2P and O2C cycles. But we are working on financials, so which is a mandatory when we are to run the P2P and O2C, we are going to do it. PO tab is mandatory. Without PO tab, you cannot process the requisition of purchase order, and you cannot create the receipt. The receipt accounting and cost accounting are mandatory if you want to create accounting entries. Not for transactions, these are not mandatory. Just you can create the transactions, okay, without receipt accounting and cost accounting. Okay, so we don't touch receipt accounting and cost accounting. Those are core concepts of SEM. This is not related to SEM course. So since this is a PO tab is mandatory to work on the purchasing part, we'll create the PO tab, and without receipt accounting and cost accounting setup, you'll be able to run P2P and O2C cycles. If you set receipt accounting and cost accounting, the respective transaction accounting entries you can generate and you can transfer to GL. That is the advantage. Otherwise, it won't stop us working on respective cycles. Okay, so PO tab is mandatory. We'll go and set it up. Okay, so these are the five accounts you could see by default in the PO tab: accrual account, charge account, destination charge, destination variance, and variance account. The destination charge and destination variance account is required only in case of centralized procurement process, where within the organizations, or say just within there are two inventory organization, between the two inventory organization within our business, if there are any transaction to handle that kind of accounting entries, we can use this concept. Otherwise, the three accounts are enough, but we'll go and set up rules for these five accounts and we'll proceed. Okay, it's more related to subledger accounting setup only. Okay, PO tab means here so subledger accounting SLA related setup only will be doing. As a part of this PO tab, first we'll go and create the account rules, and then we'll go with the account definition, and that will just go and associate with our ledger related SLA. So in EVS, as a part of SLA, we have a mapping set also, where you can define the mapping set the mapping set you can just include into account rule, or else directly you can create the accounting rule. Okay, the same logic here also will be following. Okay, now directly we'll go with account rule and we'll just look into that. We'll see. So we have 5 accounts. For 5 accounts, we have to create the 5 account rules. Okay, so here how we create account rules. If you remember in EBS R12 receivables application, we set up auto accounting rule, auto accounting as a part of receivables. There we can set the auto accounting rule by giving the constant value, or you can specify from where system has to derive the company account, department account, GL account, account values, company code and department code, account code, other segment codes. The same way here also we can define the account rule. We'll just go and see that. Okay, so we are going to set up PO tab. Okay, transaction accounting builder, which is mandatory for PO. Otherwise, you cannot process the transactions, recreational PO. Right? So we'll go and define the account rules. You take the task name as manage account rules, and which rules we are going to create related to PO. Notice that point also. Accordingly, we have to select the task here. That's very important. So task name is manage account rules. Here you can find many account rules. So, but you have to pick account rule which refers procurement. Okay. So procurement specific rule you have to select. Just click on manage account rules. Okay. Then click on go to task icon. Fine. So here you can notice account rule which you are defining for purchasing. So here how many accounts we have? These 5 accounts we have. 5 accounts will go and create the 5 accounts. You may ignore destination charge and destination variance account rule definition, or else it's a simple definitions to create. We'll go and complete it. So accrual account, charge account, destination charge, and variance account. Let me take this variance. These are the 3 primary accounts which you have to set up. This remaining 2 are optionally you set. If you have a scenario where you have a transactions between the inventory organizations, or if you are going to use centralized procurement, you can use this. Otherwise you can ignore. But for now, for just to understand this configuration, we'll define the rules for these 5 accounts. First one is accrual account. Fine. So say create. So we can give the name as everything prefix as Cloud INC accrual account rule. So cloud accrual, and select chart of accounts. Select our chart of accounts, Cloud INC chart of accounts, and rule type how you are going to create. You want to create account code combination where you will be specifying the code combination base, or you will be just giving the specific segment base or value set base. Go with account combination, and here rule type. Okay, we have to specify rule type, whether you want to go with the constant code combination or some other rule based or mapping set. Here we have to select the type. Just click on add rule. Okay, just click on add rule. Here see you have a rule types. Okay, you have a other account rule which will be including in this rule, or you want to provide the constant code combination, or you have a mapping set, or else based on the source you want to derive the account code combination, that you can specify. So we are not going to implement the exact solution for procurement. So we are trying with the basic configuration. We can go with a constant. Here simply you can specify. So if System look for the accrual account, which code combination should be readily available that you can specify. We are going to follow constant account code combination for accrual account. So select company, select department. Here see a simple point. Here I am trying to set up constant. Okay. Otherwise, if you have a multiple business units, you can use the mapping set. You can create the mapping set before this step. For which BU, which code combination system has to take, that you can define in the mapping set. Okay, that's how you. So we'll go with the constant. So company and the department and which account? Accrual account. Search for accrual account. So remember, the system will have a validation also. Account type it will verify. When you say accrual account, the nature of account should be liability, right? When you say charge account, that should be expense. That's how system will have validation. If you take some different account here, it will fail. When you create the purchase order, it will just give you the message, the account which system is picking, the nature should be expense for so and so account, liability for so and so account. That's how it will give the message. Okay, that it isn't just if you have accounts ready in your value set. Okay, or else when you are creating, just make sure that you will be selecting the right nature of type of account. Fine, just we given the code combination, this will be mapping in the next step. We'll proceed with the other accounts also. For one account we created, now what we can do is say save and create another. The next account is charge account. Cloud INC. Charge. Select chart of accounts and say create rule. Which rule type you want to go with? Say we want to select rule type as constant rule. So that system will derive the constant fixed code combination for charge account field. Select company, select department, select account. Search for charge account. Say okay. Say save and create another. The next one is variance account. Say cloud INC variance account. And select chart of accounts. Say create rule. Select rule type as a constant and provide code combination. Okay, search for account called as variance account. Say save and create another. The next account is destination charge account. Say cloud INC destination charge. So short name means we go with uppercase cloud destination charge. cloud inc, define the rule. So rule type is constant. So search for destination charge account. Say okay. Say save and create another. We have one more account to define the rule. Destination variance account. Say cloud inc destination variance. Cloud destination variance. Select chart of accounts. Create rule. Constant. So select company. Select department. Select account called as destination variance account. Say okay. So now you can say save and close. So we created 5 rules: accrual account, charge account, variance, destination charge, and variance account. Done. Okay. So created rules. Okay. Now we have to go with the transaction account definition. So search for this task. Here you could see that next to that. So and before that, here the transaction account types we don't need to create. Those are seeded. The 5 accounts only you'll be finding. If you want to see, you can go with the task. We don't need to do anything with this task. Just you can go and see that. Manage transaction account types. The 5 type of accounts you could see here. Okay. Accrual account, charge account, destination variance account, and variance account. These 5 accounts. The 5 rules we have to map with these 5 accounts by using the task called as manage transaction account definition. The transaction accounts what we have 5 for purchasing, those we have to map. So go with this task. Task name is manage transaction account definitions. Click on go to task. So click on create. So provide the name. See here based on the task. Okay. So based on the task, the name is transaction accounting definition, but this always we call as transaction accounting builder. Tab only we call, don't call it as a TAD. Okay. So that is a point we have to notice. You don't see name somewhere as a tab, but we call it as a tab, transaction accounting builder. Okay. We'll implement the logic of the accounting what we are defining here. So you can give the name cloud inc PO tab. So cloud PO tab and select our chart of accounts here, cloud inc. So now you can associate those account rules with this 5 account type. 5 account types you could see here. We created 5 rules, right? Okay. So the 5 rules you can select. Accrual account rule. Accrual account rule is this cloud inc accrual account. How system has to derive the accrual account that we written in the Accrual account saying that system has to take the constant code combination for accrual account. Done. So the same you can specify. You can just assign charge account rule to charge account. Okay. Cloud INC charge account. Cloud INC destination charge account. Cloud INC destination variance account. Cloud INC variance account. Done. So for 5 accounts, 5 rules we associated. Just click on active. Okay, just say done. Now what we have to do is this tab we have to associate our ledger specific SLA. We have to include this tab in our SLA, which SLA is associated with our ledger. At the time of ledger creation, we selected standard accrual as a accounting method, subledger accounting method. To the same subledger accounting method, we have to associate this tab for purchasing. We'll go and see that. For that, we have to use this task. Okay, search for this task. Manage subledger accounting option. Subledger accounting options. Search for this task. Okay, here you could see subledger accounting options, but now we are going to deal with which application? Purchasing. So you have to select purchasing specific path only. So for this setup, this path is very important which you are choosing. That makes the difference. You have to select procurement related only. So this is a procurement related task. So click on this. So manage subledger accounting options. Click on go to task icon and find your ledger. So our ledger name is Cloud INC. Here search criteria is equal. So that is the reason it's not fetching. You can select start with search. So this is our primary ledger name because system created name as Cloud INC US. The reason we created this primary ledger with the help of RI, a rapid implementation spreadsheet. Right. So now we have to expand our ledger name. So within the ledger, whatever the subledger accounting method you selected, within the subledger accounting method, so what a subledger accounting method solution is available for which applications, all it will display. Now for purchasing, we want to associate tab. So here is the purchasing. Against purchasing, click on update accounting options. Okay, here there is a default tab which is a dummy one. Remove and select your tab. Cloud INC PO tab. Done. So we assigned PO tab to purchasing application within the SLA, where the SLA is already part of our ledger. Within the ledger we have SLA. Within the SLA, for purchasing application we assign the tab. That means by using this primary ledger, if you record the transactions in the purchasing, so whatever the rules are available within this tab, accordingly accounting will be derived. That is a point which we have to understand when we talk about PO tab. So just we created PO tab and we associated that to our ledger. Within our ledger, within SLA, we associate with the purchasing application. That's what we did. fine. The next point is,
Lakshman, can you go back? In the forward direction you explained very well. If you go back from the rule assignment to subledger accounting options to the transaction definition, can you go back? How the drill down action will happen?
no, I didn't understand. What question? What is your question?
The question is, you explained step after step, how the things happens, when the system looks back, how it goes back to look, step by step.
Yeah. So what we did is we created rule, right? Okay, the rule we associated with the rule definition, subledger definition, accounts. Rules we assigned. Rules we created for accounts. Rules we assigned to accounts. Those accounts all we mapped with this we created tab, right? With accounts we created tab that we assigned to PO. So the PO is inside of the particular SLA. SLA is inside of primary ledger. So in this process, what system you are creating the transaction PO in the purchasing application. You are creating purchase order in the PO. You are creating purchase order. When you are creating the purchase order, the system will look for, okay, it will look for ledger. Okay, it will look for ledger. Within this ledger, it will go to subledger accounting. Within the subledger accounting, the transactions belongs to purchase order. It will go to purchasing application. In purchasing application level, which tab is associated by following that tab, PO tab, it will derive the accounting. So this is how it works.
Thank you very much. That's a nice way of doing it.
Fine. So when you are recording the PO in the purchase order, so you should use ledger. Okay. Within the ledger, it goes to subledger accounting. Within the subledger accounting need to be generated for which application? Purchasing. So for purchasing, when system is going to generate accounting, what rules need to be followed? Those rules we defined just now, and we created as a tab, and tab we associate with that. So within this tab, it will identify the rules for purchasing application, and it will generate the accounting. That's it. Yeah.
If you don't mind, can you put this in the spreadsheet so that it will be recorded?
Yeah. Done. So it's very simple. Like for which tab is available for that specific purchasing application, it will verify. When you are recording the transaction, the purchasing, from which tab, by following which tab accounting need to be generated. Within the tab, we define the rules and we associate. Done. So that's what we did. Fine. Now we'll just look at approvals. For requisition and purchasing documents, we'll go and set the approvals. So that when you are creating the transactions, system will route for approvals and all. We can understand that. Fine. So this approval part, if you want to define the approvals, okay, I think we didn't cover in AP approvals, right? Okay, that we'll see, no issues. So when you talk about these approvals, okay, let me take here. So the approval setup you can do from BPM. In Fusion, the approvals you can do from BPM. BPM stands for Business Process Management. Okay, Business Process Management. From BPM you can do any approvals. So when you talk about purchasing, for purchasing they give an option to define these rules from two places, directly from purchasing setups. Okay, from purchasing setups, you can define the approvals. If not, that from purchasing setups directly from BPM. If you want to set up the approval rules for invoices, you have to do from BPM. But in case of procurement, so there are two user interfaces are available directly as a part of purchasing setups. You can define the rules for requisition and purchase order. What are the setups you do directly from purchasing? Those will be reflecting in the BPM. Here only will have a workflows, or else directly you can navigate to BPM. From BPM also you can do the setups. So whatever you do the setups from BPM, those will be reflecting in the purchasing setup. Okay, they're given two interfaces, that's all, but the complete logic will work based on BPM only. Okay, so anyway, directly we'll do rules from BPM also when we are defining the rules for our invoice and journals. For finance point of view, there is no second interface they given to define the rules. Only for purchasing they given the two user interfaces. One from BPM you can create the rules, or else from here whatever you create everything will sync and work. If you create here, those will be available in BPM. If you create in BPM, the same you could see from purchasing setups also. So that's how we have. Now what we'll do is we'll go and set up simple rule for requisition and purchase order. Okay, for requisition and purchase order we'll go and define the simple rule. We'll see that. So when we are working on invoice approvals, we'll go little bit more detail, okay, to understand about this BPM rules, how it works. Now we'll go and define the simple rules because it has to through approval process. That's how we'll go and set the simple rule. We'll see that.
Lakshman, is this approval at the document level or is it at the line level?
Yeah, you have all the attributes to choose. You can choose the attributes. We have a variety of attributes. Okay, you can set user level, you can set document level, or else you can set some generic very high level of approvals. All the attributes we have, what level you want to set, you can choose. We are going to see that we have multiple options.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, fine, thanks. Fine, done. Now we'll go and set this approvals. Okay, so go with the document approvals. You can just search with the document approvals. Okay, first we'll define for requisition. Okay, fine, no issues here. Just go with this task manage. Okay, purchasing document approvals. If you want to set first requisition, you can go with this task. Okay, fine. First we'll set for requisition, then we'll go with the purchase document PO. Okay, task name is manage requisition approvals. Just click on this task and go to task icon. Click on go to task icon. Okay, so here as per BPM, these are all we call as a nodes. Okay, these are all we call as nodes. So that detailed discussion will have when you set up approval for invoice and journals. But here we need to understand very much detailed information related to procurement. Just I'll take you through the process how to set up the rule. So here we have a stages. Okay, pre-approval stage, header stage, post-approval stage. So in which stage you want to implement the approval? Okay, so which stage before approval you want to make someone to approve. Before actual approval takes place, you want to approved by someone. After approvals also you want to make someone to approve, those also you can decide. So here header stage, in the sense this is actual approvals. Before actual approvals happen, if you want to make someone to approve, you can use this pre-approval stages. And after approving the actual once you do the actual approvals also, you want to make someone to involve in the approval process, again to approve those documents as some finalization or confirmation, you can use the post approval stages. Okay, but now just if you are going to use this all, like it will work in the sequence. Otherwise, any one of the, if you are going to make, so this is a rule, based on this rule approval should work. If you want to go straight forward condition, you can use any one of them, you can use any one of them, so it will work as a normal rule. Okay, so any rule you want to create, you have to choose the node. These all we call as nodes in BPM language. These all are the different nodes. Okay, so which will help you to set up different uh, routing, I mean purpose of the uh, approval. See here, request forever information. If you want to send just forever information notification, you can use this rule. Okay, and consensus and first responder wins and header hierarchy. These are the different whether it has to, it, once you submit to multiple people, the system has to wait till all the people will approve. Then say it's submitted to 4 people. Once 4 people approve it, then only the document you want to finalize as approved. Or else, if anyone can approve, and that system should turn the status to approved, or it has to go in the sequence. All the different options you can specify, okay, within this. So those points we'll discuss very detailed level when we work on the process called as invoice approvals. But here let's target to define the simple rule to just route this notification to respect some targeted or automation, whatever, however we require, we can just work on it. Okay.